Welcome to our video where Monday will show you how to raise fennec foxes from day one successfully.
Hey guys, okay, today I'm going to show you how to raise baby fennec foxes from day one. So first off, we're going to start with what we've got. So what you're looking at here, those are my little handling blanket. This is the heat pad or the heat blanket. You can set it off, low or high. I've got it on low. This is just for checking the temperature. So you can shine it wherever and like let's do it in the water. And then you can see the temperature of it. And so inside here is the baby foxes. See, they're sleeping on their blanket. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what else you need. This is some warm water. This is the Royal Canin kitten milk. So I'm keeping it in the water to keep it warm. This is just a scale. I weigh them once every day, every morning basically. Well, these ones I've only weighed yesterday and today because they're only a day old. They were born yesterday. And they only had the mommy's first milk and then she ate one of them. Okay, so I put them in here on their little white cloth and then I weigh them. So you put this on before you weigh them so it will show on 0. Otherwise you're going to weigh the top and the blanket with the foxy. Okay, and then I write down when I'm feeding and the weight. You can see the average weight. It will go up and down according to also when their stomach is going and when not, and after the 8 and whatnot. So it went from 38 grams, 39, 41 because there's 3 of them, and then we went to 40, 40, 41. And then you'll see I feed a mole at a time, and then I try and feed 2 hours apart for the first 5 days. I feed one mole every 2 hours, even right through the night. So this is the kitten milk I'm using. So we're based in South Africa, so you don't get a special fox milk or ferret milk or hedgehog milk or anything closely related to that. We get kitten milk, we get puppy milk, and we get lion milk. And then obviously your normal cattle, cow and goat milk. And then I've got colostrum. Now I just took this out to show you guys. I don't use this bottle, that teat. So I make the milk. So this is what my milk looks like. I make it exactly according to the instructions for the kittens. So it's supposed to be 10 grams per 20 ml. So I just divided it because I'm only drinking 1 ml at a time. So I divided it and it will be then, it's just standing a bit skew. It will then be 10 ml of water with 5 ml of powder. So you get a scoop with a measuring scoop, but you can use a medicine spoon. It's also 10 ml. And then I use lukewarm water. So first off I boil the kettle and I leave it to go cooler. You don't want to put the boiling water into the hot milk, otherwise you might destroy the proteins in it. So you wait for the milk to go a bit cooler, then you mix it in, and then I put some colostrum in, just a pinch, because remember now they're not getting the mom's colostrum. So I put like a pinch of that in with the milk and I mix it. And then I use it's a fake one, but it's the Miracle nipple. And I draw up the milk and I test it on my arm and I feed them with this. So far this has given me the most success. With this one I found some aspiration, which is not ideal. So they do suck quite heavily on this. So yeah, So anyway, the best one so far for me, in my opinion, was this. So you can buy the real miracle nipple or you can buy a fake one. It doesn't matter. This one works perfectly. I'll show you now. The only thing with these syringes are it's a lure lock syringe. You can actually buy them loose because see, if you sterilize them, the ink comes off and eventually it's going to go off and you're going to battle to find one mole to feed them. Okay, so next you want two different type of cloths. So one or two different like face cloths or cotton or something. One is for the bum, one is for the face. So you need it lukewarm as well. You can dip it in lukewarm water if you want. You can put lukewarm water in your wet wipe packet. I use wet wipes. This is what I use, just normal wet wipes. And then you have to stimulate them. And then afterwards I wipe the face, obviously not with the same cloth. And then I've got my handling cloths. You can see they're white because the white ones I use only for the baby foxes, and when I'm done I throw them out. I might use them for cats and dogs, but I do not mix the dog and cat stuff with the fox stuff. Simply because these are so small and they're exotic in South Africa, so they're not used to all our bacteria and diseases and whatnot. Okay, so I'm going to get my son to film the first video for me.
Hey guys.
And I'm gonna start. And then you leave your milk in this warm water because you don't want it to cool down, otherwise you're gonna have to keep on going back to heat it up in the microwave. And as I said, I feed every 2 hours. I feed 1 ml, and remember to mix the milk exactly according to the instructions. So now normally you would put Protexin in the milk, but I didn't, simply because they had the first meal from the mom, and so I didn't want to put Protexin in yet. I first want them to get all the mommy's bacteria and to get a bit of that resistance before I go and mix some other stuff in with it. So the Protexin I'm gonna leave for now. I'd probably only give it on day 3, which is tomorrow, because they were born yesterday, so today at around 1 o'clock they will be a day old. Yeah, anyway, so let's begin with the foxies. So now we're gonna do exactly what the mom does. We're gonna stimulate them so they can urinate and pass some stool. They don't have to pass stool every time, but they do have to urinate every time after every feeding. You can see here the yellow on the wet wipe. So you wipe them down a few times, and don't use a hard cloth, use something soft, a wet wipe, or even some, if you've got some cotton balls, that will also work. Now you're just going to wipe a few times, and if it doesn't want to poop, then that's fine. Don't wipe it too much. If it doesn't want to go now, with the next one it should go. You don't want to hurt it or make it raw. It's just like a little baby. Don't want the bum to be raw. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to test the milk, and you do so on your arm, on your inner arm, just like a real baby. Okay, if it doesn't burn you, then you know it's right, and you will feel immediately if it's too cold as well. You don't want it too cold, then you put it back, you put your whole syringe back into the hot water, and it will just warm up a bit. Okay, now the reason we're using this, okay, first we put the cloth on, and you can burrito wrap it like this. If just the head sticking out, it will fuzz a bit, and then you're going to feed it with your miracle nipple or your syringe. Now firstly, you're going to let it have a teeny bit of a taste, and it will start sucking on its own. If it doesn't drink on its own, You can slightly push it, and I mean like very slightly. But this one seems to be drinking on its own. And the reason we're using this is because you don't want to cause aspiration. So before the time, just test it out. Just test out your bottle, your milk. Make the milk. Don't put water in and test out your bottle because it's not going to be the right consistency. So you want to very slowly let it drink. Because remember, if it gets this milk or any fluid in the lungs, you are going to lose your fox. There's no miracle cure for that. You can take it to the vet and they can try their best, but so far, from what I've heard, there's no fixing it. If there's fluid in the lungs, there's fluid in the lungs. Your fox is going to die a very slow, painful death, where it won't be able to breathe. You'll see the mouth will go open and close, because it's going to try and breathe through the mouth to get some more oxygen, and it's just eventually slowly going to pass away. So feed very slowly, take your time, don't rush it. And that's why also in my book you'll see sometimes it says I waited 2 hours and 45 minutes since the last feed, if you check the times, which is not correct. I just feed them very slowly, so it is still every 2 hours, but from the last fox that I fed. So the first one is going to be fed now, then let's say this one is going to take another 5 minutes and the other one's going to take another 5 minutes, so it will be 15 minutes. So let's say 2 hours and 15 minutes. But what I don't suggest is going the first week going over 3 hour feedings. So if you're going to push your limits, 3 hours max, and don't try and overfeed it. Just feed it a little at a time, more frequently and a little, rather than feeding it less and feeding it a lot. Because you're going to get a bloated stomach or a hard stomach, or it might be too runny. You're just going to end up having problems with it. And your fox has to be warm. You can't feed a cold fox or any cold baby animal because they can't regulate their own body temperature. So you have to make sure this fox is nice and warm. But don't take a warm water bottle and put it against the fox. You don't want to burn it. So make sure your temperature is correct. A cold cat or a cold fox, baby animals basically, cold kitten or cold kit is a dead kitten. So normally they also don't want to eat if they're too cold, and they won't digest the food too well if it's too cold. Hey, you're not full yet. This is why you actually have the cloth, to try and keep it from wiggling around too much. As I said, 1 ml is perfect. These syringes, they work very, very well. If there's anything that I missed on these videos, I will try and cover it in the next video. But I think I'm doing the most important. And then you put your syringe back on your wet wipe. It's a clean wet wipe, it's just got a bit of the milk on it. You don't want to put it down somewhere else. Now you take a lukewarm cloth or wet wipe and you wipe the face. Even if it doesn't look dirty, just wipe it down nicely and then you put it back by the heater. Do not play with them. Do not give them to kids to handle. They are extremely fragile. Anything can happen. They can drop so easily, or they can take them too hard and squish them. They are extremely fragile still. Okay guys, well, I hope this helped. And this is what the little baby looks like. And there you go. And thank you for Gabriel for filming for us.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.